Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the Global Heatmap 3, our weekly roundup of important global and strategic issues. This is your host today, Major General Jagatbir Singh, retired. Now I'll focus on Bangladesh. The latest issue on the news is the Bangladesh asking for a $2 billion loan from the World Bank, and the World Bank agreeing to that so that they can help them in crucial reforms, flood relief, improved air quality and healthcare. Now, recently, the interim head of the Bangladesh government, Muhammad Yunus, who is a Nobel Prize laureate, is visiting US. He's addressing the UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, and on the sidelines of his visit to the UN, he's also meeting several world leaders. He's met the Italian Prime Minister, he's met the Pakistani Prime Minister, he interacted with the former President of the US, Bill Clinton. So what is coming out of all this is what we are going to examine. At the same time, there's been a statement by the Bangladesh Army Chief, General Waqar Zaman, who said recently in an interview to Reuters that democracy should return to Bangladesh in a year and a half. And this has fueled discussions regarding the timing of the national parliamentary elections. But as per the office of Dr. Yunus, he said that the government would engage with political parties after receiving recommendations from the 6 reform panels that had been established, and once consensus on the reforms is reached and voter list is prepared, the election date will be announced. As far as his meetings with the UN and the IMF are concerned, he said that it has been a highly successful day for Bangladesh diplomacy, which has been marked by a historic meeting between our chief advisor and the US President also, whom he met. And the two leaders affirmed the close partnership between US and Bangladesh, which is rooted in shared democratic values and strong people-to-people ties. Now, this is a matter which US has been harping upon democracy, but Sheikh Hasina won with a democratic election, and right now there is no democratic party in charge in Bangladesh. So this must be seen. And why I brought this up is that maybe the chief's remarks regarding Bangladesh being ready for elections has something to do with what President Joe Biden has said. Now, to shift our focus to economic issues, Bangladesh needs to tap financial institutions like the IMF, World Bank and ADB for up to $8 billion in funding. The country reportedly has $100 billion of external debt and needs $3 billion from the IMF just to repay its foreign liabilities, and another $300 million for flood rehabilitation. The World Bank has reported to us, said, we will support you as fast as possible with as much as possible. This is, and said that the commitment to addressing Bangladesh's financial needs, they are committed to to addressing Bangladesh's financial needs as Bangladesh embarks on critical reforms. Now, he also met with Ajay Banga, the head of the World Bank, and Mr. Banga agreed to repurpose an additional $1.5 billion from the existing programs as per his meeting with Mr. Muhammad Yunus, and that will raise the total amount of soft loans to Bangladesh to $3.5 billion. Now, apart from this, during the UNGA, Muhammad Yunus also raised the issues of Rohingyas, and he said that there is a need to, deal with this problem, and there are 1.2 million displaced Rohingyas from Myanmar, and Bangladesh has been facing acute problem because of this. And he has said that while Bangladesh has shown empathy in hosting the Rohingyas, the costs associated with this situation, social, economic, and environmental, are considerable. And Bangladesh has now reached its limits, adding that repatriation is the only sustainable solution to the ongoing crisis. He gave out 3 proposals to address this situation, where he called for all stakeholders' conference on the Rohingya crisis to review the situation and to suggest innovative solutions. Also talked about a joint response plan managed by the UN and Bangladesh, which needs to be revived to address the sliding funding situation, and called for support for justice and accountability mechanism for genocidal crimes committed against this Rohingya community. He called for international allies to support Bangladesh in its pursuit of a prosperous and promising future, emphasizing the nation's commitment to seizing this critical moment for transformation. He said, our task is to clean up and reform it. We need to make it strong, and your support is essential to make that happen. During his meeting at the Clinton Foundation, he also introduced 3 coordinators that are student coordinators of Bangladesh's anti-discrimination students movement. This is at the Clinton Global Initiative leader stage, including Mr. Mohammad Mafsoos Alam, who he said is the key architect behind both the recent quota reform and the subsequent movement of the government's downfall. When he met the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, he underscored the need to revitalize the bilateral cooperation between the 2 countries, as also to strengthen SAARC. There is no doubt that Bangladesh is facing a dual economic and political crisis at present, with the protests giving an opening to fundamental Islamists. The ban on Jamaat-e-Islami has been lifted, and the attacks on Hindu minorities is there. There is, as someone said, the country is today in a complete mess. And we need to ensure that the interests of our India, both as far as India's is concerned and as far as the Hindu population living in Bangladesh are concerned, are met. And we need to ensure that the interests of India, both as far as India's interests are concerned and the safety of the Hindu population living in Bangladesh, is ensured. Thank you.